filming this sort of as an update blog of sorts, because not a week goes by that I don't get at least a couple of comments about this still 2 years after I vlogged the original video about it. 3 years from the very, very first one, but the main one was 2 years ago. People cannot wrap their head around the fact that I still do not have a smartphone and do not want a smartphone. I still have my basic phone. Yes, it is very much still functional, still works, still loving the keyboard. Not a problem for me. I prefer it that way. They cannot grasp that I legit don't want one. Like, oh my gosh, even like my most recent ex last year thought that that video was just some sort of compensation thing, and that, oh, but you secretly want one, but you just tell yourself you don't. No, I legitimately don't fucking want one. I want no part of that shit. I would sooner go without having a cell phone at all than switch to one of those. And people don't get it. I'm like, why can't we agree to disagree, and why does it bother people so much what phone I use? Like, for real, I mean, I'm not telling you guys what phones you should or shouldn't use. I'm not saying nobody should have a smartphone. I'm just saying I don't fucking want one. Which, why that's a problem and why people get butthurt, I don't know. Like, there was one commenter over the weekend who was getting legitimately pissed off at me that I not only still don't have one and still don't want one, but that no argument they made was changing my mind. Like, they were literally getting pissed off over a course of my videos, trying to supposedly somehow magically change my mind on this, because some argument would totally make me change my mindset on something that I've felt very strongly against for years. Yeah, right. Like, that's gonna fucking happen. So, I don't even know, man, but it kind of just makes me laugh really hard that people are that all up in other people's business and think it's a big deal, when it really isn't. All I need this thing to do is make emergency phone calls. I don't, as a habit, even talk on it for fun. I have a landline for that with much better quality that I don't have to worry about dying batteries with. I don't have to worry about overage charges with, because I have unlimited worldwide for that. I don't have any of that for this, and I don't want it. We live in an area in the middle of a bunch of mountains where we barely have reception anyway, so why the fuck would I want to, like, keep stretching it beyond its boundaries? I wouldn't. Even if I didn't live in a mountainy area, I still wouldn't use it more than I do. And I've brought it to other areas, like even big metropolitan cities, where it worked just fine, and I still had no desire to use it more. It is legit for emergency phone calls, and I have unlimited texting, even though I don't do much of that, since I generally message people on Facebook, or on Instagram, or wherever the fuck else, but not so much on this. There's about 5 people I text through this, and that is just fine by me. Yeah, it's a little bit old, it's a little bit slow, and I'm okay with that. I'm a little bit old and a little bit slow, so that doesn't bother me. But yeah, the only thing that bugs me at all is just that it's such tiny buttons that I have fat fingers, so it does slow me down a little, but it's still better than the old school method of this way of texting, which I did up till 2010. This was the first one I ever had with a keyboard on it, and I still prefer that to touchscreens. I fucking hate typing on a touchscreen. Even on my iPod, I legit bought a Bluetooth keyboard just to avoid having to type on the touchscreen, because I hate it so much. Yeah, that. Why the fuck would I want that on a phone as well? No thank you. And then have to lug around the keyboard everywhere? I don't think so. I have enough of a lisp to where the speak-to-text thing doesn't work when I talk. So that's out. I don't like the predictive text thing, because it's always wrong. I hate the autocorrect. They piss me off. I don't want any part of them. Nobody's gonna change my mind on that. And I'm also a paranoid person who worries about my info being hacked and leaked or whatever, even though I don't have anything scandalous on there. But I would worry about, like, credit card info getting stolen. Not that I have much money to steal in the first place. You're really that hard up for $1,000? Wow. That's all I got to my name, people. But seriously, I don't want the headache. I don't have to worry about it with this because legit all it does is make phone calls, texts, and I could take a picture with it, but it's such shit quality that I don't. That is why I have the iPod. The whole reason I got the iPod was just so I could have the convenience of having nicer pictures like I would from a smartphone without having to have the smartphone part. It's a beautiful thing. So, there's that. And if I feel like dicking around with apps, I can do it on this without it being attached to a phone, which means nobody's going to FaceTime me because I didn't set it up. Ha 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 ha. I win. I'm sorry, I fucking hate FaceTime. I hate Skype. I am not a fan. I have social anxiety to the worst degree in the first place. A phone call in and of itself is so anxiety inducing that it generally takes me about 3 hours to get myself to dial in the number and make a phone call. But to then have me have to show my face on the other end while my anxiety is going 10 million miles an hour, yeah, no, it's not going to happen, ever, for anyone, sorry. If you don't like it, tough, so it's not really any of you guys' business anyway, but these are my opinions, these are my feelings, this is what is right for me. When this phone dies, I will go get another basic phone. They still sell them, believe it or not. Yeah, it may be a little more hassle to get them because you generally have to order them online instead of just find them in the store, but they're a million times cheaper, and for me, I prefer them a million times more. So, this is what's right for me. Will I ever change my mind someday? Probably not unless they ever 100% do away with basic phones, which I do not see them doing. So, yeah, that. Even if I have to, like, go to the, oh, what is it? Not Cricket Cellular, but the one that's for old people, the old people phones that literally do nothing but make calls and texts. I would more happily switch to that than use a smartphone. Just saying. But that is just me. If you guys want to use smartphones, be my guest. I don't care what you use. But please, don't concern yourselves what I use or don't use, because it really just, it's nobody's business. I just wanted to get my feelings out there in that initial video about that, yeah, I feel that smartphones are very damaging to society and every other point that I made about them, and why I refuse to contribute to that. I will not get one. Why this is so problematic to people, I don't quite get. Given that I am hurting nobody in the process by not using one. Actually, that means there's another smartphone still on the market for someone else to buy who actually wants it because I didn't buy it. I mean, what is the problem here? Why does it bug you so much that I don't want one? Because you were hoping that you would somehow get my number and force me to FaceTime you? Yeah, that's never gonna happen in a million years, so I wouldn't give you my number even just to text on, so I've had my number changed several times just to avoid people. So, just throwing it out there. But yeah, it very much is still an operational phone. It still works. It's not like it has any issues. I still have texts on there that come in daily, if it'll show that. There's 25 in there that are unread right now. 7 voice, it still works. And it's fine for me. Therefore, it should be fine for you to accept that it's fine for me. It may not be the right decision for you, and that's cool. I don't care. Use your smartphones till the cows come home. You're probably watching this on a smartphone. That's fine. But I choose not to. And I'm very happy with that decision. And I'm actually seeing a trend of people downgrading from smartphones to basic phones as of like the past year. And more people are doing it. So apparently I'm not so crazy after all. This is a thing where people are realizing that smartphones are bullshit. Just saying. Just saying. Even celebrities are starting to hop on this bandwagon of ditching the smartphones for basic phones that do nothing but make calls and maybe text. Because they don't like having their info stolen either. So, just saying. You can call me every name in the book, you can ridicule me till the cows come home, but you're not going to change my mind, and apparently I'm not entirely in the wrong here when there's numbers backing me up of other people who have tried the smartphone thing and ended up deciding it's not right for them either. So, just saying. I felt that I should make this update video because I keep getting asked over and over. So, obviously in 2016 you've definitely upgraded by now, right? No, I haven't, and no plans to. And no, it is not a compensation technique, method, whatever that people have apparently assumed that video was. No, I legitimately just don't want one. If I wanted one, I'd go get one. I don't want one. So, and honestly, for what I pay on this, it probably wouldn't even be that big of a cost difference, but I just don't want one. I am happy with this, so what's the problem? Oh yeah, there isn't a problem. That is the baseline here. So, I'm sure probably another couple years will go by and people will continue being baffled by the fact that I won't go get one. And I'll probably do another update a few years down the road that I probably still have this same phone. My last cell phone lasted me 10 years, so never broke because I don't use it that much. Funny thing. So this, I'm sure, will probably last me just as long, if not longer. I can make things last a really long time, guys. So anyway, just saying. That's all I have to say on this. That you're not going to change my mind, no matter what argument you use. It's not going to change my mind and sell me on smartphones. Sorry, but no. And again, I'm not hating on smartphones for everybody, just I don't want one. That is the baseline here. So that's all I have to say. So, as usual, if you like the video, click the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, leave comments down below. Until next time, bye!